Hello, I'm Chris. Welcome back to Marine Corner. Hope you're doing well and having a good week so far. This is part 3 of my book tour. I'm not sure how many parts it's going to be. We'll see as we go. But this is my favourite edition. This is the Red Spine Vintage Classics. I think I've probably read a few, not read a few. It'll be a mixed bag. Some of my favourite books are in this pile. So yeah, should be quite an interesting thing. I don't want to rush too far through this. So I'm just going to take my time. I like how all the different ones have different covers and different artists. Different artists do each like individual author. And I think they look good on my shelf. So first up, I got Butcher's Crossing. I bought this recently from a bookshop in Morecambe for £3. It seemed pretty new condition, to be honest, when I bought it. I was like quite made up with it. It's about a guy called Will Andrews who wants to go buffalo hunting, and he meets up with a couple of men to do it, and it's about their story, and it's a really good story. But it's by John Williams. It's called Butcher's Crossing. I don't know if I said that, but yeah, it's not my favourite John Williams. I prefer another one. But yeah, it's a good book. I'd recommend it. It's a bit like a western, really, I suppose. But yeah, it's a good book. Next up, I've got a Japanese writer. So I've got Yukio Mishima, the sailor who fell from grace with the sea. This was the first one I read by Mishima. Quite enjoyed it, but it's not my favourite. It says a band of savage 13-year-old boys reject the adult world as illusionary, hypocritical and sentimental. When the mother of one of them begins an affair with a ship's officer, he and his friends idealise the man at first, but it's not long before they conclude that he's in fact soft and romantic. They regard this disillusionment as an act of betrayal on his part. Their retribution is deliberate and horrifying. Excuse me. So it's really cool. I enjoyed that book, but it wasn't my favourite. But I do love that cover. I think it's a really cool cover. That's that. Next up now we've got Kafka, The Complete Stories. I have read The Trial and The Castle, but I haven't read America. I also have a copy of Metamorphoses and Other Stories that I've not read, but this seems to be everything, all his stories, so I might read that first before I read this. I know Metamorphoses and In the Penal Colony is definitely worth reading. Not that I've read them, that's what I've heard. Next up is Christopher Isherwood's Goodbye to Berlin. I've not read this because I think it's in a duology with Mr. Norris. Mr. Norris Changes Trains. So I think I'd like to get that one before I read this one as well, but I want to get it in this like Red Spine Vintage Classic edition. Next up's The Island. I have read this, but it has been a while and it feels a bit hazy. I'll probably remember it as I start reading it, but it has been a while, so I do fancy rereading Island. And then I've got some Vonnegut books. I've got one. We'll carry on with the. So I also got Brave New World, which again is by Aldous Huxley. Another one that I want to reread because I feel like it's been a while. So yeah, I got these probably about 5 years, no, maybe more than that now. But yeah, it's been a while since I've read them, so I do feel like rereading Aldous Huxley. My stacks are a bit messed up here, so that's Vonnegut. And then we'll go with some more Yukio so Yukio Mishima, this is First for Love. So this is about like a woman moves into her father-in-law's house, and then falls in love with a young servant. This I enjoyed, but like I say, I feel like with Huxley and Mishima, I need to reread. This one I loved. This one was one of my favourite reads, I think, last year. The Sound of Waves, I thought it was a brilliantly written book, and it was really good. It was about a guy who wanted to marry this like rich man or affluent man or whatever he is, and the man tests him, and another suitor, and yeah, I think it was really good. But yeah, Misham and Huxley are probably the highest ones on my reread list for these. And then I've got some Kurt Vonnegut's, some I've not read. So I've not read Armageddon in retrospect. I picked these up a while ago, so Hocus Pocus, Slapstick Not on or Lonesome No More, Timequake, and then my favourite Vonnegut that I read every year. Like at the start of the year, this is my first book I go to. I don't know why, it is. I enjoy it. There's some of his drawings in here, Vonnegut's drawings like that. It's just a really good book. It's one I enjoy. And like I say, it's the first book I read every year. And then when I've finished, but it was quite an undertaking, and it's getting a bit... I think I need to update my copy of this. It's just a bit... It's getting a bit... Yeah, I mean, I've only read it once, but it's getting a bit yellowed. But then obviously the size of the book and it being short stories and stuff like that, I feel like I'll probably dip my toe in and out of that much. So yeah. Probably would like to update this copy, to be honest with you. But I said Ground Poe, The Fall of the House of Usher and other stories. But I have read this, like I say, but it did take me a long time because it is a 900 odd page book, but I would like to reread that as well. And then I got Goldfinger, which was only £1, so I thought I'd pick it up. I've not read that yet. Our Man in Havana by Graham Greene. Sorry, Goldfinger is by Ian Fleming. I think Ian Fleming used to go to a rubbish hotel, or I don't want to say a rubbish hotel, but like just say a room in a cheap hotel and write and finish his book. I found that quite interesting. The Collector by John Fowles. This is really interesting. It's about a guy who kidnaps a woman, but the first part is you read about his from his account, and then the second part is from her account. Really good. Another one I want to reread as well, along with Mishima, Huxley, Poe, and that's by John Fowles. I'm not sure if I said John Fowles, but I love the butterfly on that. Another Graham Greene, Brighton Rock. I've not read any Graham Greene apart from The Heart of the Matter. Mother Night by Vonnegut. I've not read this yet. Or have I? Yeah, I think I have read this. It's still got a sticker on, but I did try and take the sticker off, but I think I left the sticker on too long, and now I need to do, like, get some Goo Gone or whatever, or... I think Redbeard Vinyl used to say lighter fluid, so I might have to give something like that a go. But this is Bloody Chamber by Angela Carter. I think it's like fairy tales and stuff like that, but they're all short stories. It seems quite interesting. I just picked it up because I quite like the cover, and I like I was collecting the vintage at the time, and now seem to be back on with that because I've got. Well, I got Butcher's Crossing recently, and then I also got the one I got yesterday, which I'm going to show again in this video because I want to do them all in one video. Mikhail Bulgakov, The Master and Margarita. Vintage I don't know why I say vintage Murakami. Haruki Murakami, A Wild Sheep Chase. Sorry, that was hard to say. And then finally, my favourite vintage book, as well as Breakfast of Champions, is Stoner by John Williams. I love this book. I read it twice last year. I've read it this year. I was planning on rereading it again, but I have so many books I want to get to that I don't think I'm going to reread it. But I'm glad I've read it again because I think it's brilliant. Next up, this is one I want to try and read next year because I'm trying to read bigger books next year along with like some smaller books as well. But this is Gravity's Rainbow by Thomas Pynchon. I picked this up on the way back from a gig somewhere, and so it was only £3 with something else. I think I bought a tote bag and this, so yeah, that's cool. Another big one by John Fowles is the Magus. Sorry, I love the bird on that. I think it's really cool. I haven't read this, don't really know what it's about, but I feel like I might reread The Collector before I read that. And then Italo Calvino, Mr. Palomar, another one I've not read. And then another Mikhail Bulgakov, The Heart of the Dog. And then this is The Comedians by Graham Greene. Not read this one either. I thought I read more than I have. All Quiet on the Western Front by Eric Maria Remarque. I really want to read this. I'm thinking of reading this next month because it's like, it'll be like the 11th of November. I thought that would be interesting to read then because it's about World War One. Then I've got Night at the Circus by Angela Carter. I picked this up recently in a charity shop along with that at the same one. Couldn't resist a couple of vintage. Slaughterhouse 5 is one I've read. It's a really good book, but I fancied rereading it. That's why that was downstairs to reread. And then one more, and then a couple more recent pickups. So Catch-22 I had up downstairs as well, my second TBR. But I think I fancy stripping that out and seeing what I fancy reading next. Like pull everything off the shelves, and then readdress what I want to read, because I feel like I did it so long ago, like them two shelves, that now I feel like they need updating. Because who knows what I'm going to fancy reading once I finish my first shelf. Recently I picked up Fyodor Dostoevsky. No, I'm not pronouncing that right. Don't think I'm ever going to pronounce it right. That's Crime and Punishment. And then the one I got yesterday is William Faulkner's The Sound and the Fury. So that's all my vintage classics. I really do like the vintage classics. I do think there is some really cool covers in that. And like I say, I think the ones I've read, I want to reread. Like Breakfast of Champions, like Mother Night, like The Collector, like Stoner, like Butcher's Crossing, like The Mishima, like the Aldous Huxley, The Island and Brave New World. So a lot of them I think are going to stick around in my collection and are going to get read again and again. Anyway, this has been my Vintage Classic Red Spine, part 3 of my book tour. I'll be back with the next one, or Cornered by Books. I'm not sure which one will come first, but we'll see. Anyway, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.